For decades, Singapore has always been at the forefront of trade and commerce. Geographic lottery placed this literate dot at a geographic choke point, chaining her through macro supply chains to giant economies around the world. Her position at the confluence of trade routes and communication infrastructures allow her to blossom from a trading village into a global transshipment, oil refining airport boasting international hub. It is one of the reasons for her success and prosperity, allowing her a global standing that far belies her size. Her position within Southeast Asia has also placed her in close proximity to many growth corridors, growth triangles, and international economic collaborations, providing many transnational engagement opportunities on lively international canvas. Yet the tides are rising.
All these parts will increasingly be at risk. Not only will property values be affected, but safety and livability also. How much will it cost to protect ourselves against rising sea levels? Parallel universe. I think if you bifurcate on technology, and I have my chipset and you have yours, and I have my supply chain and you have yours, then I think the cost is much
The Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership was signed virtually on Sunday.
And multilateralism itself is being questioned precisely when it's most needed.
Singapore can no longer lie on its laurels and waning geographic luck, as the rivers of trade, transshipment, oil and connectivity dry up. How will Singapore continue to survive as a global trading hub and a city-state? In her bid to survive, Singapore will no doubt have to be at the forefront in the development of the smart city, implementing cutting-edge technology in its development to retain its status as a premier business and technological hub.
A hub that's connected to the rest of the world as efficiently as possible and where data in particular flows in and out without friction.
In 2020, we have already a peek into the future of Singapore, as the government envisions 20-minute towns, autonomous and dynamic bus services, GPS tracking of cars in the name of the ERP, police robots and robotic dogs, and the installation and integration of sensors to better predict and secure civility on the streets.
When the Little India riot happened, December 2013, we were caught a little flat-footed. There were too few CCTV cameras monitoring Little India. We are making every lamppost a smart lamppost.
At the same time, land constraints between the tiny island nation will only continue to become ever more severe. As Singapore reaches its physical border limits for land reclamation, the country would be required to find other means for expansion, whether by building up, digging down, or expanding virtually.
Electricity trade and a regional power grid to increase Singapore's energy security.
The National Cyberspace Agency was formed as a successor to the Smart Nation initiative in Singapore. Its first priority is the establishment of SingOS, an integrative national operating system that functions from the highest level of state governance and international relations down to the individual and his daily needs. Internationally, its goal is to be a platform that connects decoupled nations with starkly different modes of governance and beliefs through investments in infrastructures of connectivity and by extension collaboration. Domestically, it aims to enhance collaborations between governmental silos, private organizations, and the individual. With the new SingPass 3.0, citizens will get to enjoy the conveniences of an aggregated digital identity, connecting your virtual social media profiles and physical statistics onto one single platform. The proliferation of SingOS will allow Singapore to be in the best technological position for its national strategy. The NCA presents to you 4 major reasons why you should invest in Singapore. Firstly, the presence of political stability due to the incumbent government. Secondly, her penchant to enact forward-looking long-term plans and the citizens' trust in the state. Thirdly, her desire to be smart, as constant cutting-edge development is her only reliable strategy. And lastly, her size. Being a city-state allows for bureaucracy and high agility. These reasons contribute to Singapore's appeal as an international hub and prime candidate for smart city investments. Woodlands was chosen as a favoured site, as the northern node that abuts Malaysia filled with residential enclaves, factories, offices and parks. Spearheaded by the NCA, Woodlands becomes a favoured test bed for the next generation hybrid town. Its intermediary position between Malaysia's data centres and the CBD led to an increase in data centres being built in the 2020s. As one of the busiest land crossings in the world, it presents a unique opportunity to serve locals, visiting workers from neighbouring Johor and beyond. The construction of new MRT lines and the North-South corridor further enhanced its accessibility in the 2030s, allowing Woodlands to be the regional hub of the North. 20 years after the completion of Jurong Lake District in the second industrial gateway in the west, Punggol Digital District in the northeast, the international gateway of Changi in the east, and the business enclaves within Central Business District in the south, Woodlands will join them to become one of the 5 nodes of Singapore's digital economy and infrastructure. Together, these nodes will allow Singapore to collaborate domestically, regionally, and internationally. This will further reinforce Singapore's standing as the premier digital brain of the region, allowing neighbours and locals to utilise and share networking resources. In 2075, Woodlands as a region will see the construction of new data centres added to the national e-grid. Data centres form the backbone of our national strategy. They are the necessary concrete embodiments of our formless virtual national territory, critical to the functioning and existence of Singapore. Disruptions to their uptime would lead to immediate repercussions to our national income and reputation, and is a threat to our national security. As a result, the NCA places the securing, powering, and cooling of these data centres as our top national priority. The strict security enforcements via ring fencing, military policing, and the tidal pool form parts of its defences against physical intrusions. Multiple layers of redundancy are integrated into every level of infrastructure. To power them, in addition to signed agreements with Malaysia across the Causeway and Australia for the provision of renewable energy sources since 2020, the NCA has spearheaded the utilisation of stable domestic sources of renewable energy to power our data centres. Given our inhospitable and overheated tropical climate, specialised underground district cooling facilities prioritise data centres as its main cooling load, with excess capacity channeled to nearby neighbourhoods and gardens. These infrastructures are necessary in ensuring our data centres are the top choice within the regional and global markets, aligning to our national trans-data industry, while simultaneously improving the standard of digital living in Singapore. Their physical expansion and continued operations grow in importance every day, as more and more citizens migrate their lives into SingOS, our virtual national territory.
The NCA has always been at the forefront of exploring the integration of SingOS into everyday life. Together with the LTA, ventrilo systems, and holographic imaging have been rolled out across all MRT stations and trains. Passengers can be readily identified and tracked with ambient sensors, allowing you to directly board and exit trains without the hassle of tapping in and out. The system accesses consolidated information of each passenger within the SingPass 3.0 database, utilizing viewer-based dynamic holograms to facilitate the boarding and segregation of MRT carriages, catering to passengers from different backgrounds. Targeted advertisements cater to different advertiser-specific user bases, while Premium Pass users may enjoy an ad-free experience. Each passenger is also pre-assigned carriage and seats according to algorithmically evaluated needs, SingPass 3.0 scores, and governmental affiliation. In all, the integrated SingPass 3.0 measures will help to improve efficiency, reduce conflict, and uphold security, ensuring accountability of our transport systems. They are in line with our national strategy of being an intermediary between different political models and ensure that each and every commuter acts in service of the country.
In collaboration with the Housing Redevelopment Board and private organizations, the NCA presents to you the Woodlands Experimental Village, a neighborhood that sees the retrofitting of old estates and the construction of new models of housing, seeking to cater towards residents of different political ideologies, and is the test bed in forward-looking land-constricted Singapore. Here, we celebrate Singapore's sovereignty, as well as her close ties with major global economic powers that are at odds with one another. Located at Woodlands Street 32, it is a symbol and standing model of the various technology and ideologies that can coexist in the same vicinity across the street. The NCA has championed the cause of smart nation building, master-planned more than 5 decades ago. This includes the provision of security for the man on the street, upgrading the nationwide sensor network on lampposts throughout the country, these sensors and detectors continue to recognize and monitor pedestrians, ensuring public civility as part of the wider public order system. Offenders will be easily identified and warned. Your physical journey leaves both physical and virtual footsteps. The NCA, in collaboration with the Housing Redevelopment Board, initiated the Apartment Upgrading Program, which will be rolled out across older HDB estates that have not reached the end of their 99-year lease. As a pioneer of this initiative, the existing Woodlands Vibes estate was one of the first to complete the upgrading program. A basic telepod is provided to each resident unit by the NCA. The telepod represents an upgrade to the physical windows of yesteryears, performing as the virtual doorstep and information gateway to cyberspace possibilities. Processing power and cooling facilities are channeled from the block central data unit, which in turn connect to district data, power and cooling systems, reinforcing our cyber infrastructure with multiple layers of redundancy that will resist system blackouts. The upgrading program represents NCA's commitment to ensure Singaporeans with equitable and trusted access to the cyber world, as society grows heavily reliant on it as well as on one another. In this state-sanctioned estate, digital and human eyes contribute to the continued sense of security in the neighborhood. They will ensure the reliability and constant uptime of our cyber systems, representing NCA's commitment and contribution to our cyber defense and consequently civil defense systems. The NEST Consortium, a collection of residential technology corporations, provides for the construction, management and sales of these private apartments. Minimal state interventions apply, with competition and market system ensuring its efficient operation. Apartment modules at all price brackets are outfitted with the latest telepod system. This can be installed at any location on these structures. The highest bidder for each air plot is granted the use of air rights. Group modules can be configured for large families, as well as into community living rooms. Bidders may seek to overtake adjacent plots via outbidding neighbors in the open market laissez-faire system. Bidders may seek to obtain discounts on their plots by allowing their residents to be accessed by data collectors. Bidders may also seek to obtain discounts on their apartments by allowing ad faces in front of their telepod. The government will also work towards improving access to gardens within conservatories, starting with luxury greenhouses in disguise, as part of wider efforts to mitigate the heavy environmental impact of cyberspace technology and the effects of aurora destruction on our streets.
While our super trees and bioengineered plants thrive easily within our regular parks and gardens, the natural trees and forests that were once commonplace are unfortunately rare and difficult to maintain. The Central Woodlands Reserve was built as a state and private collaboration to allow Singaporeans a chance to enjoy nature as it once was.
It is the green jewel of our nation, one of the last remaining secondary forests from half a century past, encased in specialized climate-controlled isolation environments. It is a living remnant of the fabled garden city that was once Singapore, representing the best of what state-funded and privately operated partnerships have to offer. It is with great pleasure to announce exclusive access for our Silver Garden Pass holders, as well as civil servants of rank. Elsewhere, the public may enjoy our regular park facilities and can purchase tickets for their allocated time slots. Ticketed areas include our observation skyways, where one may get a glimpse of our preserved natural forests, and the sensory trail, where families may get up close and personal to our holographic plants and bioengineered imitations, representing the best that money and technology has to offer.
The NCA has also taken steps towards rejuvenating the beating heart of Singaporean neighborhoods, the town centers. Historically, they served the physical need of town residents, nourishing their stomachs and social appetites. However, in recent years, what was once a vibrant public space has degraded in quality and offerings. The current unregulated open market system allows for small stores to peddle physical and, in many cases, illegitimate grey market goods and services, a growing cancer that threatens our formal economy and international reputation. As such, starting with Phase 1 in 2075, the Woodlands Town Centre will be revamped to be the model town centre of the future, Holes in the walls will be upgraded into digitally infused and regulated state-sanctioned stores. The community can expect the fair distribution of products, accountability, and security, while enabling our private partners the opportunity to serve you better, with recorded shopping history and transactions on SingPass 3.0. Down the street, the newly opened Woodlands Community Centre will become part of the wider outreach program that has been spearheaded by the NCA, a digital and accessible public square that allows people from all tiers of life access to community telepods. These telepods come equipped with the latest state-of-the-art cybersecurity systems provided by the Cyberspace Security Agency and have premium high-speed access to community facilities and forums to encourage Singaporeans to move their interactions from 2D web pages to 3D virtual space. The Woodlands Community Centres will allow each and every individual a chance to connect with who they want, be what they want, and exist in their envisioned world space. It will become the definitive channel of communication and socialization for our future communities. To access, you may approach any of the unoccupied telepods with red status lights and start your experience once SingPass authentication is approved of and terms of usage are agreed upon. We hope that you enjoy your journey with us.